Morgan just humiliated Blake Lively live on air, and honestly, it was nothing short of a spectacle.
I mean, it's sort of unprecedented that stars of this magnitude would dish it all out in public to this extent. I mean, she began with, I think, the New York Times' very well orchestrated, obviously, onslaught against him.
He called out her over-the-top PR stunts and the carefully curated facade she's been selling for years with his trademark bluntness. The takedown was so brutally honest that her devoted fans were left questioning.
Blake Lively has now been called one of the most influential people of 2025.
It was supposed to be just another day in celebrity commentary, but then Piers Morgan decided to drop a verbal nuke right in the middle of live television.
She began with, I think, the New York Times' very well orchestrated, obviously, onslaught against him. And I read all that and thought, wow, poor Blake Lively. I've got to say, I'm not really thinking that now.
Without a shred of hesitation, he tore into Blake Lively like a toddler dismantling a piñata. His opening shot was to allude to her much-publicized legal feud with Justin Baldoni, nothing more than a desperate PR stunt. A stunt. Can you imagine?
And she shows up, I guess they're in London, and yeah, there's a ton of fans and people in the back, but somehow there's this weird group of a select few, and do you notice what they're all carrying? Lady pool images.
Morgan didn't stop there. He went all in, pulling receipts on Blake's alleged lady pool fan fiasco. Yes, the same stage spectacle where fans miraculously appeared with perfectly branded signs. Because of course, grassroots support always looks like a corporate sponsorship deal.
Like, they all have the same lady pool image. Almost as if someone told them all, hey, hold this and stand here, and you'll get an autograph with her. And yeah, it'd be nice.
The sheer audacity. But wasn't she in just one or maybe two scenes? Why is she signing like she did the whole movie?
She claims she can't leave the house. It's so bad out there she can't leave the house. But now we get these events that she's putting out there. It's like, oh, see, which is it, girl? Are you actually getting all the hate and can't go out and can't get work? Or does the world still love you? Because you can't have it both ways.
But it gets better. Because Piers didn't just stop at the publicity stunts. He peeled back the entire facade. Blake Lively, the actress who claims she can't leave her house because of public backlash, was out there actively promoting films, posing for cameras, and flashing those trademark smiles. Let's call it what it is. Hypocrisy wrapped in a designer gown. Piers exposed how she's weaponized this victimhood narrative to paint herself as Hollywood's ultimate damsel in distress, all while hopping from one red carpet to another. Truly Oscar-worthy. The timing of Morgan's takedown is almost poetic. Was it mere coincidence that he unleashed this tirade shortly after Time decided Blake deserved a spot on their most influential list? The aftermath of Morgan's on-air roasting was as chaotic as you'd expect. For starters, let's talk about the contradictions. Blake says she's essentially a hermit now, too scared to step outside her front door because of the big, bad backlash. But then she's also somehow able to headline movie promotions, walk red carpets, and sign photos of her stunt double as if they're her own. Morgan, sharp as ever, didn't let this slide. He slammed her for weaponizing a woe-is-me victimhood narrative while being front and center in the limelight. Hypocrisy is at its peak, but don't forget the timing. Was this sudden moral lecture from Morgan triggered by her inclusion in Time's 2025 Most Influential People list? Because, let's be honest, that list wasn't exactly winning universal applause. And when you think this is enough, here comes another dumbest thing. Blake Lively was listed in Time's Most Influential People list. Seriously? The world collectively looked at that and asked, are we being punked? She's called the Titan. Sure, if by Titan you mean the queen of perfectly posed Instagram selfies, color-coordinated fashion campaigns, and controlling every narrative with the precision of a well-oiled PR machine, then yeah, Titan is about right. But influential? Please. Piers Morgan wasn't buying any of it, and honestly, who could? So, let's break this down. Blake Lively, according to Time, is influential. Well, isn't that cute?
She regrets things, and then the next moment she's like, oh no, she's carrying this burden for all the other victims out there.
What she influenced? The art of looking effortlessly stunning at every red carpet event, And don't forget that relatable girl next door image she's worked so hard to build, except, when she's playing the victim in a PR scandal or promoting the real behind-the-scenes chaos. Meanwhile, her influence is about as convincing as a reality TV star claiming they don't know how to spell reality. It's Hollywood's greatest illusion, and Morgan, being Morgan, called it exactly as he saw it.
She's here because she made a contribution of $200,000 to the NAACP legal defense fund.
And let's not ignore the elephant in the room, the infamous $200,000 guilt donation that magically appeared right after Blake and Ryan Reynolds got dragged for choosing a plantation for their wedding venue. Guilt donation? Well, that's something we never heard before. How charitable. Blake and Ryan must have been so moved by the backlash. It's almost like they hit the jackpot of the PR world. The throw money at the problem and pray everyone forgets fund. Seriously, who needs accountability when you've got a fat check to smooth things over, right? Morgan, of course, didn't hold back.
You got married on a plantation, is what the tweet was. And then it sparked a fury all over Twitter, and then him having to now donate again. Clearly the backlash was getting severe.
He practically roasted her for this move. Calling it a textbook example of a PR panic button, he pointed out that while her big donation might have tried to clear the air, the public wasn't exactly fooled. Spoiler alert, no one forgot. It's almost like there's a pattern here with Blake. Whenever there's trouble, there's always a massive donation or a carefully timed public appearance to save the day. The sad part? It's so predictable. It's almost like we're watching a badly scripted reality show. And guess what? We're not buying it. Now, let's talk about Time's honor for a second. Was Blake's inclusion on that list about genuine influence or just another example of a well-scripted PR fairy tale? Again, Morgan wasn't buying it. Far from seeing Blake's public image as genuine, he tore into it, calling it Hollywood's greatest illusion. And honestly, can you blame him? This whole relatable girl next door with a touch of glamour shtick is starting to feel as authentic as a reality star's marriage. We all know what's going on behind the glossy, well-curated posts, and trust me, it's nothing we want to emulate. But Blake, bless her heart, keeps trying. She's got this persona down to an art. Glossy photo shoots, charity donations timed just right, and endless spontaneous Instagram stories, where she just so happens to be her most real self with zero filters.
They do seem I agree with this expert. There's really nothing but a bunch of just forced smiles of them together, and I'm not buying it.
The truth? It's a carefully crafted illusion. Every post, every interaction is meticulously planned to make us think she's just like us. The only thing that's just like us about Blake is the way she's so good at pretending. Those lady pool fan signs at the Another Simple Favor event? Yeah, they're about as real as Blake's natural hair color. So let's all take a moment to appreciate this masterpiece of modern PR. Blake's inclusion on Time's most influential list is just another chapter in Hollywood's grandest charade. Will we remember it in a few months? Probably not. But it's fun while it lasts, right? Social media wasn't kind either. Comments like, influential? More like infuriating. And, is she influencing PR firms to work overtime? Flooded platforms. Morgan, always the provocateur, doubled down, demanding transparency. Because if you're going to play the philanthropist card, people want to see receipts. But the real gem here is the lady pool fan setup. Oh yes, the supposed superfans holding up pictures of Deadpool with Blake's face slapped on. Subtlety clearly wasn't invited to this PR brainstorm session, and Blake, ever the professional, happily signed those photos.
But it really does feel like someone just came out with a bunch of lady pool shots, which, by the way, that's not even her in the suit.
The problem? They weren't her photos. They were pictures of her stunt double because nothing says authentic connection with fans, like taking credit for someone else's work. Now, let's not forget Ryan Reynolds, Blake's other half and potential co-architect of these PR stunts. Piers couldn't resist dragging him into the mix, speculating that his cheeky Deadpool persona might have inspired Blake's flair for theatrics. The parallels are hard to ignore. Reynolds thrives on self-aware humor, while Blake, well, she's out here signing stunt double pics and calling it a day. Coincidence? Doubtful. When the trailer for Another Simple Favor dropped, the backlash was swift. Fans flooded the comment section, pointing out the awkward reunion and questioning the film's promotional strategies. And what did Amazon do? They turned off comments. Because nothing screams, "We have everything under control," like hitting the mute button on your audience. Blake's PR team is likely sweating harder than a marathon runner in August. Between Piers Morgan's relentless critiques and the internet's unforgiving spotlight, they've got their work cut out for them. And let's face it, the cracks in the facade are starting to show. Blake Lively, the woman who managed to turn a straightforward legal feud into a masterclass in contradiction and chaos. One thing's for sure. If she does manage to claw her way back, it's going to take more than curated Instagram posts and staged fan photos. Blake, if you're listening, maybe try a little honesty for once. Or, just stay out of the spotlight for a while. If you're as obsessed with the Blake Lively-Justin Baldoni drama as we are, don't forget to hit that like button and smash subscribe. You won't want to miss the next round of this ever-evolving facade.